SCP-8000. The Seal of Approval. Level 5, Top Secret. Containment Class, Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-8000 is currently uncontained. Description: SCP-8000 is a gigantic serpentine entity resembling a harbor seal, Phoca vitulina, residing within Site-322. The exact length of SCP-8000 is unknown, as its tail has never been located. However, estimates range upwards to 150 meters. Instead of bounding, sliding, or swimming, SCP-8000 is capable of self-propelled flight, along with phasing through solid objects and precognition. SCP-8000 is sapient, capable of speech, and highly intelligent. Additionally, SCP-8000 can create temporary dimensional gateways at will. It is hypothesized that SCP-8000 has been connected to baseline reality from an unknown extra-dimensional location. The method or reason SCP-8000 exists in present reality has not been discovered. As of documentation, SCP-8000 is one of 2 living beings on Earth. Director Paul Lague barges into Site-322 meeting space. He looks intently at a report as he moves towards his chair. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's not... The hell are you? SCP-8000 is seated across the table. Hi, Mr. Paul. Where, huh? It's just you and I today. Sit. Come on. I don't bite. I'm very confused. Are you a seal? What are you doing here? I don't remember. I think I had a meeting. What are you doing here? I know enough about you to know what makes you tick. I promise to be honest with you, as long as you're honest with me. All right? You're a long seal that talks. Did you voluntarily let yourself in here? Yes. My job is to lock things like you up in cages. Permanently. That won't be necessary. I've done the research and documentation on myself for you. SCP-8000 nudges the SCP-8000 documentation towards Lague. Why the 8000 slot? I didn't choose that. You wrote it. Yes, but that was out of my hands. Do you have a tail? That's your biggest concern? It's an odd detail to write about. Can't you infer? I've never seen my tail. I wouldn't confirm something I have no evidence of. You can slither through here, and I can confirm whether you have a tail. Excuse you, I float. Daintily and whimsically. Whatever. Who took this picture? You do, in about 6 or 7 minutes. What are you talking about? Mr. Paul, will you spend 1 day with me? I know the eventual answer, but I need to go through this song and dance regardless. SCP-8000 makes a biting motion and latches onto the air. Gripping the space with its jaws, the entity pulls its head to the left, tearing a rip into present reality. SCP-8000 flies through the gateway and peeks its head out towards Lague. It's right through here. Hold on. Yes, how could you ever trust me? Ask whatever you want and I will be truthful. SCP-8000 raises its right flipper. I swear on those magazines you keep hidden in your desk drawers. Fuck off. Rude. You're not going to kill me? Wasteful. Eat me? My craving for human flesh has long since passed. Is that a joke? Yes. So touchy. Eating you would be redundant. What about torturing me for millions of years, burning my family alive in front of me, driving me to insanity over and over again? Anything like that on the table? How oddly specific. Answer: gratuitous and reckless. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Mr. Paul, I'd just like to spend the day with you. You said that. I'm going to go into this rift very slowly. These things don't stay open long, and they're a real pain to open again. So please save us both the trouble. You wouldn't want to create a paradox by not taking the picture you just saw. Would you, Mr. Paul? SCP-8000 re-enters the gateway. Director Lague stares at it as the tears begins to slowly repair itself. Cover documentation 8000.1 2/13/2024. Context: Director Paul Lague was ordered to a meeting with Ethics Committee Liaison Jeremiah Cimmerian regarding his behavior as Site-322's director. Transcript: Begin log. How do you think you've been doing? The fact you're here isn't a confidence booster. We consider each other friends, right? Okay. Cutting to the chase, you've missed 12 of the last 1404 meetings. Your site's overall productivity, anomaly containment, research endeavors, etc., has plummeted over the last 3 months. I have 16 different complaints here about odor of trash and shame originating from your office, and people have been telling me that you're sleeping during working hours. Do you deny these claims? I don't know. I'm just... Never mind. Burnout? Maybe? I think I'm just in a lull. Cimmerian looks at Lague silently. I don't know if I'm depressed or what even else it could be. I sit down in my chair, do whatever bullshit paperwork I need to do for the day, assign whatever projects are left over, and stare at the screen until I can go back home. I'm bored. Everything is boring. This is probably stemming from a bigger issue. The sun is hot. When did this all start? I was researching this anomaly. I can't be bothered to remember, and I don't know. I sat there looking at this bullshit file of a bullshit anomaly and felt it was all for nothing. I think it killed the spark. It happens. Look, Paul, I've dealt with a lot of people experiencing the same issues you are. How long have you been a director? 8 years. Oh, well, that's quicker than usual. What's the point of whining? I'm doing the work I need to do. I'll pick it up. Tell me what's going on. Why do you feel this way? Please, I'm here to help you. Why? There's no point. None. I've had enough. Just give me a second to get myself together and I'll get back to it. I appreciate it, Jer. This meeting wasn't meant to kick you in the ass and magically make you love this job again. You know the level of work you can put out. We need that back. We need more than what you're giving now. Believe me, I want more, but I can't fucking find it. It's literally impossible, so why try? End log. Director Lague and SCP-8000 exit the gateway into the study of a vast library. The grand doors are open, giving a view to hundreds of thousands of books, seated on dark mahogany shelves, which stretch far beyond view in the distance and towards the ceiling. The air is still, with a hint of the smell of ash and old paper. Small orbs of light dance around the shelves, illuminating the tomes and hallways. I've been to the Wanderer's Library before. This library is mine. Those carnies got the infinite library idea from me. I borrowed it from Alexandria. The pair walk out of the study. Stone archways wrapped in ivy and vines guard the front of each of the sprawling hallways. I think I would have heard of a third library of this sort by now. I dislike publicity, so I keep it to myself. That said, this is not my library per se. It's yours. They approach an archway. Engraved into its keystone is Memory Lane. Care for a stroll? Lague and SCP-8000 proceed. They enter into a subsection of the hallway. This holds every experience, every moment, every bit of knowledge, and every emotion. It's a map of you, Mr. Paul. How in-depth is this? Piano muscle memory is up there, very dusty. 4 volumes on your childhood expertise in all things shark and shark-related are up ahead. I have every moment of every elementary school you've sat through further up this way. How in-depth? I've read everything. I don't judge. Even SCP-8000 soars above out of view, retrieving a dusty book from a shelf and dropping it to Lague. He opens it. Lague is 8 years old, swimming in a public pool. Grabbing the bar of a ladder in the deepest part of the pool, Lague pushes himself under, then pulls himself back up. He does this 4 times. Suddenly, Lague attempts to breach the surface, but can't. The inside of his swim shorts are wrapped around the ripped stopper at the bottom of the bar. Panicking, Lague splashes and tries to pull himself out of the water, but can't. He unties his shorts and swims out of them. He is naked, but alive. 2 girls, one Lague had romantic feelings for, observed the entire incident and stared at him. Lague gasps for air and touches his chest and arms. Even that, yes. Jesus Christ, that felt so real. It was. You were there before, and I placed you back, so you may relive it. Is this your whole gig? Making you relive embarrassing moments? No. That was a trial run. I can make you relive, but we can also watch as spectators. Can you please, for the love of everything, tell me what we are doing here? We're here for your memories of failure. There are many, more than most people, somehow. I'd rather you drown me again. Recover documentation 8000.2. 214, 2024. Context: Dr. Jeremiah Cimmerian gathered several of Director Lague's close colleagues, believing it would alleviate Dr. Lague's current disposition. Transcript: Members present: Director Daniel Ashworth, Dr. Harold Blank, Dr. Jeremiah Cimmerian, Dr. Anthony Waugh, Director Randall House, Dr. Cole Thuriven, and SCP-5595. Begin log. Guided by Cimmerian, Lague enters a Site-322 meeting space. In front of him are his colleagues seated in a circle. An empty chair is in front of him. An intervention? Are you kidding me? It's not an intervention. It's clearly an intervention. He's an idiot, not stupid. Lague slumps in the empty chair, grumbling to himself. We want to discuss your career and your emotional state. A few of us have prepared statements. Does anyone want to go first? Thuriven's arm shoots up. Cole? Thuriven pulls a crumpled piece of paper from under his leg and begins reading it. Mr. Lague, I am very sorry for the loss you have experienced over the last few months. I can only imagine how hard it is to lose a pet. It makes me sad to think about my pet gecko, Clyde, dying like your dog did in a violent car accident. My condolences to you and all of the other dead dogs and pets out there. Cole, this is about... Lague holds his hand up to Cimmerian. I appreciate it, Cole. Thank you. Director Lague did not and does not own a dog. Anthony? I needed some documents looked at and signed by you last week. You said you'd get them to me, but when I went into your office a few hours later, I found them under a book written by a pickup artist. I had to stay overtime for 5 days to do the necessary edits. On top of that, I had to fill in for you at 6 separate meetings where you were going to no-show. I didn't get paid overtime. What? You didn't get overtime? You removed those privileges. No, I didn't. Oh yeah, that was me. The hell? He called me an asshole for scalping Era's 4 tickets. What does this gumball do? It's the first integrated anomaly. Lague put it in our financial department. Probably not the finest idea. Thanks, big guy. I definitely asked for your opinion there. I'm just saying, it's an anomaly controlling Foundation resources. Maybe that wasn't the best. Don't start with me, Dan. Everyone here remembers Oh Bear Watch and thinks about it every time they see you. Fuck you! Ashworth moves to leave. It was a product of its time! Ashworth exits, slamming the door behind him. Every time. I'll go. For the last 8 years, you've been very independent. More independent than most. I'd get the rare call or email asking for a once-over on whatever report you're filing. More recently, though, you've become much less confident needing to break down your methodology and philosophy instead of just doing it. You're a smart kid. Start asking like it. You're not allowed to ask for advice now? That's not what he is saying. So what? I'm just supposed to sit here and take this? No one is attacking you. Paul, you need to hear it. The fact of life is that there will be peaks and valleys. You think you've reached a very, very high peak, and now you're back to a regular old valley, and you're not used to it because it's low in comparison. It's not the end of the world unless you let it be. Randall, we'll keep this short. You've become a whiny bitch. You know how much bullshit I deal with on a daily basis? I work in literal fucking hell. I'd love the respite of researching anything easy and chill every once in a while. I agree with the douchebag. It's annoying. You're being annoying. I've seen this downward spiral happen 1,000 times. Do people have their qualms? Sure, I don't give a shit about those people, because 99% of the time it's someone whining because they think they're not good enough. I'm tired of this victim mentality. Grow your self-confidence back and stop whining. Ha! Hot meat kettle. Guys, I said non-judgmental maybe 30 times. Maybe you should have said it 650 times. He needs to hear this. You want to talk about being a whiny bitch? Watch yourself. Look at the real honorable site director. Didn't you conscript demons to find that Gamers Against Weed guy? The one who kept drawing him as a white person, right? A whole lot of self-confidence there, Randy. Yeah, whatever you say, buddy. How about this? The second you leave this room, take your hand and grab your life back by the balls. You know what? Fuck this. Lague stands up. Grab my life back by the balls? I'll do it all by myself. I'll believe it when I see it. You watch me. Lague exits. Great work, guys. Astounding stuff. Really effective. Thank you! End log. I saw your tail, by the way. No, you didn't. I caught it for a second when you went into the portal. That'd be impossible. Is all of you inside of this library? Yes. I see your point. What did it look like? A normal seal tail. Astounding. I'll update the documentation. Speaking of, SCP-8000 flies rapidly from shelf to shelf, retrieving a myriad of books. Your documentation. These tomes represent your childhood. Director Lague and SCP-8000 appear in a child's bedroom. The walls are dark blue, multiple trophies from Little League sports victories line a bookcase opposite the bed. Oh, no way. Lague strolls through, grabbing a Batman comic book off of a nightstand and flicking through the pages. He stops at the inside of the back cover. What's that? I used to draw my own Batman comics in the back of comic books. I think I have some more over here. Lague walks to the opposite side of the bed. How many did you make? Dozens, maybe hundreds, I don't remember. I loved it though. For marine biologist and president, I wanted to do line art for comics. Got a bunch of those how to draw comic books. They never really helped other than giving you something to trace, but it was cool nonetheless. I just stopped one day. I don't remember why. Maybe school picked up or oh shit. A child around 6 or 7 years old is slumped against the bed, silently crying. Several crumpled up drawings are strewn around him. Don't worry, he can't see you. That would cause a paradox. This is so weird. You mentioned you stopped? I wish I didn't. It was a pipe dream, but life happens. A woman barges into the room. She looks around. You all right? She moves to find the child, sitting to meet his gaze. What's wrong? It's not good. Well, I think that's wrong. It's not good. She wipes a tear from his face with her sleeve. Honey, if you work yourself up like this, you'll never be happy with anything. I quit. I'll just be a fish doctor and never draw again. I'll support you in whatever you decide to be. Want to help me bread the chicken cutlets? Yeah. The pair stand and move out of the room. The woman grasps the child's hand. I don't know where I'm going to get the money to pay for marine biology college, but if that's what you want, I'll support it. That was the day I stopped, I think. Now that I look again, it's not that bad for a 6-year-old. I guess I was just a brat. Was? That's nice. Why didn't you stick with it? The odds of me doing anything that mattered in that job were slim to none. I wanted to be the next Jack Kirby or Stan Lee, but that was never going to happen. My dad worked in scouting for college football. He would always talk about these athletes he watched. They were the best in their high school of 300 kids, but he knew the second those kids stepped onto a college field, they were in the lowest percentile of real skill. He was never wrong. Do you think he's right about that? It's a bleak outlook on life to continually diminish the skills of yourself and others. He would always say this shit whenever I got some new interest. Always, always, always. He'd manage to bring it up in conversation the next day. So he was talking about you. Astute observation. Mr. Paul, you understand that your standards are what you make them, correct? That's not true. That has never been true in the history of humankind. Lague sits at a desk in a cold, quiet room. He's 16 years old, surrounded by other teenagers at desks. The group stares at the standardized tests they're taking. Lague sits across from his mother. He opens a manila envelope. 1520. Oh my God, congratulations. I'm trying to get into a good school, Ma. 1520 doesn't cut it. What are you talking about? That's the 99th percentile. Henry, Nate, and Isabella got above 1540s. Nate did? Did he cheat? It's not the point. 1520 doesn't frickin' cut it. 1520 and 1540 are both in the 99th percentile of all scores. You're being ridiculous now. Stop it. It's not good enough. I've been dealing with this attitude for your entire life. Be happy for yourself for once. I'm proud of you, Paul. Doesn't that matter? I was right in the end. I didn't get into the Ivies. We switched majors in college 5 times. From computer engineering to graphic design to culinary arts to mechanical engineering. In a year and a half. Lague sits on the ground of his dorm room. A physics book is open to a section about elasticity. He is crying. Fuck off with that one. I figured it out with biology in the end. And I graduated on time. Why didn't you stick with your other choices? Because the concepts were impossible to understand. That's not true. You work for the Foundation. You're smart. Mean it? It wasn't groundbreaking. I was studying the work of more successful people to graduate and become a cog in a machine based on those successful people's discoveries. No upward or downward movement, just stuck in a corporation. I couldn't do it. Maybe I self-sabotaged. I know my advisor hated me by the third switch, but I couldn't force myself into that life. You wanted to leave a mark? Yeah. Is that a crime? Recover documentation 8000.3-4. Context: Director Lague authorized the following project proposal to be presented to the Overseer Council. Project Seeker. Finders keepers, losers weepers. Project description: The Seeker machine is a para-technological device utilizing a localized wormhole and quantum computing. Seeker's users can input specific parameters to search for undiscovered anomalies. In conjunction with its wormhole, Seeker's artificial intelligence system can predict an undiscovered anomaly's location, classification, and abilities based on the timelines and experiences of 35 million parallel Earths. Utilizing a GUI interface, users can input several parameters, specifying what anomaly Seeker should scan for, and the number of parallel realities it should search. Seeker will return the best result, providing the factors causing the anomaly's manifestation in parallel universes and its location on Earth. Context: A portion of Director Lague's presentation to the Overseer Council. Transcript: Begin log. Do you see your job as one big dick measuring contest, Director? No, ma'am. I'm failing to see the need to spend millions. The estimates I've run, even better, billions of the Foundation's money on a theoretical tool that does something we already do. I fail to see the need for this past satiating your ego. A photocopier sits in the seat of 0513. It speaks. Big machines are all the rage these days. How shocked am I you'd be interested in this, Thurt. Stop calling me that. Who sent out the big machine all the rage memo? Site 17's Deep Well. Has anything positive ever come from them? They're always ruining reality or killing gods because someone keeps throwing money at them. Maybe I don't want to stay locked in a photocopier. Have you ever considered that? I did consult 17's Deep Well for this. 057 types on their keyboard. Stop shooting yourself in the foot. Mr. Lague, can I say first how nice it is to see you again? Firstly, I think this is a grand idea. How did you come up with this? It's so cool. Okay, so I'm convinced this could benefit us here at the Foundation. However, I'm wondering about the intention here. I did read a report from Mr. Sumerian over at the Ethics Committee, and he said you have a small case of the blues. Aren't those kinds of discussions supposed to be confidential? 057 types on their keyboard. We're not governed by the draconian rules of HIPAA. We're far enough away from Africa for those big freaks to be of no issue. 7. Get on the same page as everyone else. Paul, please answer 5's question. Yes, I wasn't doing well, but those are for personal reasons. After evaluating myself and considering why, I poured myself into creating this project so that my site and I will consistently be at the forefront of interesting new research. We have an anomaly detection planted on every inch of this planet. You want us to uproot that? No, this is for a different initiative. This is for future predictions. Yes, the anomaly detection system we have is top of the line. I can't deny that, or even try to make this project seem better. That is real time. This would show us when, where, and why anomalies pop up before they even do. There's nothing like it. End log. Context: Director Lague's presentation to the Overseer Council. Transcript: Begin log. It went well. They bought it. They bought the insecurity machine wholesale. I prefer the grab your life by the balls machine for the colloquial term, and yes, it's been approved. Maybe I know you too well, but if I can see past that thin veneer, I think they could too. Oh yeah, they saw through it. What did you do? I didn't contact Deepwell, and I sure as shit didn't make this an anomaly detection system. I lied. End log. Would you like it if I analyzed you? I'm not some case study, you know. There was never a rule that you couldn't ask me questions. You got a name? I don't have one. I don't remember why. It's been a while since anyone's even broached that subject. All right, you seem like a William, not a William, more of a Bill. Why the distinction? The name Bill pops into my head when I see bald things. Not sure why. I have hair. I'm covered in hair. Your eyes work. I'm sure of that. Yeah, but you look bald. What about Greg? Feels less special without the reasoning behind a potential distinct nickname. Francis. Frankie for short. I remember why I never picked one now. I wouldn't have been taken seriously if I'd shown up and said, "Hello, Mr. Paul. I am Frankie." You're an incredibly long seal. Play into the ridiculousness of that scenario. I think the tonal disparity between what I do and my coincidental resemblance to a rather dopey mammal is enough unrequited cosmic humor. I'm the expert on these things here. You have to pick something. A few years back, I dealt with, yes, the god of scrimshaw and whalebone carvings. Scordo plays into his assignments very well. I take a different approach. Please pick a name. This is interesting. Here we fucking go again. Looking into you, I've found that you have a rather obsessive personality that never seems to be sufficed. Your art skill for an adolescent wasn't bad. Some would even consider it pretty good. It wasn't good enough. That obsession for perfection led you to quit. I don't think it's such a bad thing to stop yourself if you have no future in it. You do this for most activities, academic, recreational, or otherwise. If you even sniff a hint of potential adversity within your rise. SCP-8000 retrieves a nearby black paperback book. Lague is playing for his university's intramural basketball league. The game is tied in the fourth quarter. Lague's team has the ball with 15 seconds remaining. Neither team has any timeouts. The ball is passed to a teammate who is quickly placed under pressure from two defenders. He makes a quick pass to the opposite corner to another teammate. 7 seconds remain. The teammate fakes a shot, then dribbles into the paint, faking a layup and throwing the ball to Lague. 3 seconds remain. Lague misses the pass. The ball bounces into a defender's hand, who makes the fast break into the opposing basket. 1 second remains. The player shoots the ball from behind the three-point line, seeking the basket and winning. Lague leaves, missing the post-game meeting. He did not show up for the next practice. Oh, come on, I think that's fair. Yeah, I was a baby about my art, and I was mad that I didn't get to the college I wanted to. This is just embarrassing. You can downplay those events as much as you please, but they were very influential in regard to who you are now. You can say that about anything. That's how socialization works. You lost a single game and quit. Was the embarrassment that bad? To have to look into the face of my teammates after I went butterfingers on an easy game winner? Yeah, that's fucking embarrassing. Why are you so averse to that? Embarrassment is a normal part of life. You know what? You're a hypocrite. You won't let yourself even consider having a name because you're afraid of what people think about you once they hear it. The loss on me was on me, no one else but me. I couldn't put that art into the world because it wasn't good enough for anyone else to look at. I was pissed I didn't get into an Ivy because how is anyone else supposed to know that I'm smart enough to be there? You're the same as me, and I'm not going to let these assholes think that they're better than me as long as I can do something about it. There it is. Ooh, you got me. Good fucking job. You're still a hypocrite. My name is Wallace, Mr. Paul. Wally for short. I'm Wallace, and I have always been. But you're still stuck in the position you've trapped yourself in. I hope you'll see that I'm trying to help you. Recover documentation 8000.5 through 8. 313, 2024 to 320, 2024. Context: an abridged catalog of the anomalies discovered by Seeker. Seeker 1. Input universes 104,257. Parameter: close, alive, big, dangerous, in Philadelphia. Seeker discovery: anomaly is triangulated to Citizens Bank Park, the home field for the Philadelphia Phillies baseball team. Truncated description: SCP-01-Seek is a chimerical humanoid anomaly resembling a green rotund avian wearing a Philadelphia Phillies uniform. SCP-01-Seek is sentient, sapient, and capable of speech. That's not a costume? No. You've been a living thing this whole time? Yes. Have you read my book? Everything's explained. Yeah, I know it says you're from the Galapagos Islands, but there's historical documentation of the Henson Monster Shop making the Phanatic. I've met Charles Darwin. Have you now? I've been spreading the anti-evolution rhetoric for 70 years. I'm the guy who came up with school choice. Why didn't he write about you? I forced him not to. How? I said I'd eat him. Why would he believe you? I ate his assistant. Did you? Swallowed him whole. Delightful. My nose hole unhinges like a snake. You like eating people. Probably my favorite thing to do. You're okay with that. Do you get mad at sharks for doing the same thing? Sharks don't actively hunt people. I never said I hunt people. Do you hunt people? Yeah, mostly kids. I like standing in their doorways until they notice I'm there. Are you trying to get a reaction out of me? You know my hot dog gun? The dogs I put in there are made of people meat. From the people I hunt. Enchanting. You ever got one of my hot dogs slung at you? Nope. They're made of people meat. I'm finding it far-fetched that you are a living creature that looks like that. You're almost 200 years old, and you eat people. I'm finding it far-fetched that you don't think I'll eat you. Speaker 4. Input universes 30,124,610. Parameters: big, scary, dangerous, monster. Seeker discovery: anomaly is triangulated to the Everglades in Florida, USA. Truncated description: SCP-04 Seek is a humanoid anomaly capable of translocation through the space-time continuum. Hello? Hey, what's up, man? Do you live here? Nah, I'm just chillin'. How'd you get here? I like to teleport. Is that all? I can time travel. Have you done anything of note with that? You ever wonder why child mortality was so bad when there were knights and kings and shit? Not particularly. I travel back in time and eat kids. Context: Director Lague holds a meeting with those attending the first Seeker tests. Transcript: begin logs. What the fuck did you guys do? Made the machine you wanted? Why the fuck is it popping out cannibals? Maybe the AI heavily associates cannibals with the dangerous parameter. Maybe you need to be more specific. Maybe I should have been more fucking specific to you. This machine isn't meant to find something you can just shove in a locker and call it a day. I wasn't in the specifications. Read between the fucking lines. Paul, you're being ridiculous. No, I'm not. This project represents billions of dollars. This project represents me. I need to show that this thing can find a world-ending threat before it causes any damage. Who said that? Who said what? That you needed to find a world-ending threat. The overseers? I need to find it. Me. I won't sit here with a billion-dollar piece of paratech that will just spit out the baby-eating Tickle Me Elmo. Do you understand how stupid I look? You need to calm down, Ant. I am 1 fucking second away from sending you to 120. Jim, what's the ceiling on the amount of universes this thing can scan? You're just about there at 35 million. I need that number bumped up. Are you crazy? I can't just do that. This entire thing will need to be reassembled. Why? Technically, and maybe, I can move that number up to 40. But at that, so you can change the numbers. Yes. What's the limit? There isn't one. Listen, the stabilization on that machine, you fucking built it, Jim. You'll fix it if it breaks. Jesus Christ. I'm not changing the universal limit. Suit yourself, I have no problem with that. Wait a second, before you do something stupid, didn't you fail out of engineering? Start learning Polish. End log. SCP-8000 soars away, retrieving 18 leather-bound books. All are emblazoned with the SCP Foundation's logo. We're site director, 8 years running right now. On top of that, you're reasonably young for one. Yes, despite your appearance? Yeah, thanks. SCP-8000 picks up a book and flips through its pages. You climbed the ranks fairly quickly, mostly due to your friendships with people that mattered. Real confidence booster there. That's not criticism, Mr. Ball. These are facts. You weren't unqualified, but you only got those qualifications due to opportunities like Miss Moose or Mr. McInnes provided. Anyone could have been in my same spot. No one forced me to do the work I needed to do, and no one else was in a position to be director when I was picked. Why are you a site director? What do you want me to do? Brag? I was the most qualified man for the job. I don't know. I was in the right place at the right time. Remember our honesty pact, Mr. Paul. Here's a conversation between you and Mr. Anthony in 1993. They gave that slimy fuck his own site. The houses have dealt with the Tartarians since the 40s. It was bound to happen. No, that's bullshit, Ant. How is that fair? I never said it was. He's 2 goddamn years younger than me. What the fuck? I don't know why you're so upset. You're a senior researcher at 25. It took me until I was 34 to even sniff a project I could call my own, let alone a senior title. I've been in a one-sided war with Randall since I joined this organization. He has the biggest leg up on me now. Jesus Christ, you're impossible sometimes. Get it together and do the mountain of paperwork in your office. Sitting here and complaining to me won't make you an overseer. I was a kid, and I was jealous. Why were you jealous? Wasn't Mr. Randall a friend of yours? Yeah. Do you hate Mr. Randall? I don't hate him. I never hated him. He's been a mentor to me since I started. But you were so hateful during that moment. My God, what's wrong with me? SCP-8000 stares at Lague intensely. I thought I should have been made a director first. Why? Because I thought it would erase every fucking insecurity I have. If I beat him to the punch, nobody would be able to look at me like I wasn't meant to be here. You eventually got a site of your own, regardless. I did, but by then it felt like a consolation prize. Fuck, man. What am I doing to myself? It wasn't good enough? It should have been. I wanted to do something important. Make something that I could put my name on top of. My entire life, I've been just one single fucking step behind. All I ever wanted was to get even the smallest bit of recognition. You've seen it. Don't you think it's a bit ridiculous to believe an organization in charge of the utmost security and safety of the universe would give someone a site as a consolation prize? SCP-8000 flips to another page. I need your opinion on this, considering you're an anomaly. Containment stuff. The way you say that word makes it feel like a slur. I'm losing my shit over here. Give me a break. Look, one of our junior researchers decided to get the flu today, and no one else can fill in on this boring project. What is it? A toaster that replaces the bread you put in with different types of bread. Anomalous item log entry. I hope you view that thing as inferior to me. When did you get so insecure? I emulate you! Can't believe I'm fucking sitting here typing this bullshit up. I'm a director. This should not be my work for the day. Have you ever led anyone in your life? Your job is to pick up the scraps when the rest of the mice can't eat them all. I don't pay you to sit around and only do work when the world is about to explode. I was better at this job than you were, and I was usurped after a mere day. You got what you were hunting for, and it's not good enough. I can't do this anymore. Can we stop, please? I get it. I get what you're trying to tell me. I swear. Are you sure? You said you want recognition, but you are recognized. You were already successful before you became site director. Mr. Anthony said it himself. You reached a very high rank at a very young age, but that wasn't good enough. So you pushed further. When you became site director, the responsibility that came with it wasn't what you expected. It was fine for a time, because the novelty hadn't worn off. The recognition doesn't matter if the hunt turns me into the world's biggest asshole. I'm at the ceiling. I have everything I wanted since I was a kid. Money, power, respect, friends who care. And it's still not enough. What's there to even reach for from here? There's nothing above that. You're right. There isn't much more to reach for. Despite that, you'll try to reach for it regardless. Cover documentation 8000.9-10, 32224. Context: an abridged catalog of the anomalies discovered by Seeker. Continued. Seeker 13. Input universes 629,814,230. Parameters: alive, sapient, weapon, old. Seeker discovery: anomaly is triangulated to a desert in Nevada. Truncated description: SCP-13 Seek is a sapient humanoid resembling common depictions of cowboys in media. SCP-13 Seek is comprised entirely of spaghetti. Transcript: Howdy there. What's your deal? You got a name there? Please, come on. What's your deal? You're in a hurry to get nowhere fast, my friend. My name's Spaghetti Jones, and this is my horse, Ricky Tony. SCP-13 Seek and its horse bow their heads in unison. What do you do here? I go where the wind takes me. So, you do nothing. I guess you could say that. It's a peaceful life. What do you eat? Food? Like what? What's your favorite food? I love me a nice, juicy steak, rare. Like cow? I don't believe they make steak of any other creature. Okay, you're a guy who's made out of spaghetti, and you think it's 1870. It's not 1870. If you were me and you were looking for something amazing, would you be happy if you found you? I'm happy with myself. I think I'm a nice guy. Ricky Tony's a sweet fellow, too. I'm content. Is that so bad? That's not what I was asking. You sure about that, partner? Are you happy with yourself? I'm not happy that a billion-dollar piece of tech found you. Well, I didn't ask to be found. That wasn't an answer to my question either. You're not good enough. I'm sorry. My friend, as rude as you were, I hope you have a swell evening. SCP-13 Seek and its horse bow their heads in unison and move away from Lague. Seeker 22. Input universes 932,143,994. Parameters: alive, keter, hostile, robotic. Seeker discovery: anomaly is triangulated to a residential home in New York City, New York, United States of America. Truncated description: SCP-22 Seek is a sapient Tickle Me Elmo branded toy. SCP-22 Seek sapience can only be observed after a direct attempt at conversation, combined with a tickling motion on its abdomen. Despite speaking like the fictional character of Elmo, SCP-22 Seek displays no similarity to the character's personality. Transcript: Do you eat kids? Leg tickles SCP-22 Seek. Ha 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 ha! No, are you sick in the head? It's been a long few days. Leg tickles SCP-22 Seek. Ha 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 ha! Elmo doesn't know what monster would eat kids. Elmo sticks to the adults. Much more meat. Context: Dr. Sumerian ordered Director Lague to an emergency meeting. Begin log. Jer, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's not a single fucking thing you can say to me that won't piss me off. I don't know how gentle I need to be. I'm worried for you. I've done this all alone for the past godforsaken month. You wanted me to do the work I needed to do. I'm looking for the most dangerous anomalies we don't have contained, and I'm containing them. You found 25 anomalies, most of which have a taste for human flesh. Oh my god, I would think that you, of all people, would be able to understand how basic fucking science works. I'm working on it. Before you forced me into this meeting, I was almost done with the remaining adjustments. What do you want to find exactly? A god? That wouldn't be the worst thing. And then what? Contain it yourself too? You need to reevaluate this whole situation. I am on the cusp of solving every single issue I have in my life. I met with the engineers. They're convinced that if you go over the 1 billion universes mark, it will end very, very badly. You have a ticking time bomb in your sight. Do you understand the danger you're putting yourself and others in? I'm done after today. I changed some parameters, and it's going to give me exactly what I'm looking for. Last time, Scout's honor. See ya. Director Lague exits. End log. Context: Director Lague calls a meeting with all Site 322 personnel in order to display the next anomaly discovered by Seeker. Begin log. Forward, Lague ordered all Site 322 personnel to meet at the Seeker laboratory. You're probably wondering why I've called everyone here. Today, I find my crowning achievement. The anomaly that this wonderful machine discovers today will not be a cannibal, but instead will be my, and by extension, your magnum opus. Scattered applause. This was a lot of work. Far too much, some could even say. I've calibrated Seeker perfectly. That thing is going to explode. Do you have to be so dark? Everything is all set up, parameters are in, and I even reconfigured the stabilization to account for the wormhole. Huh? All I need to do is push the camera feed dies. End log. The pair journey into the darkest part of the hall. The orbs of golden light are absent, replaced by small dim lights resembling floating shards of glass. To you, this hasn't happened yet. I plucked you out before, but you have made the decisions that led us to where we are now. The shells grow more and more empty. All of this will happen should I release you now and let you go alone. Do you remember your meeting before I stepped in? No. I mean, I remember the meeting, but I don't remember the details. I'm always curious why this happens to my weary travelers. The forgetfulness. SCP-8000 and Lague approach a final shelf. Immense emptiness fills the void beyond it. A single book lays on this shelf. It's white with no back cover, as it appears to have been burnt away. Read it. A discussion with a worried friend. A half-baked intervention. A project proposal. Dishonesty to the Overseer Council. A man's bold-faced obstinance and belief he's the only one who can solve himself. 4 creatures who don't reach the unreachable standard. A man's stubborn qualities flare in the face of the last person who reaches out. An avoidable mistake. Director Lague and SCP-8000 appear in a crater along with the bank of a gated river. Crystalline shards lie around them, as well as chunks of concrete, rebar, and glass. The air is hot and smells of sulfur. Lague looks at his surroundings, palpable fear growing on his face. Do you know where we are? You know, and I know you do. What happened? The Seeker machine had a meltdown, Mr. Paul. It collapsed in on itself. Wormholes are a fickle thing, I would know. Highly unstable, but you built it up to withstand a lot. You managed to push past that boundary with your obsessive search for glory. You put in some combination of parameters that don't exist in any known universe. Something so specific, so impossible, it cracked. Lague paces around, finding tattered clothing and lab equipment. Your sight is gone. Lague encounters splinters of wood that once belonged to his desk. Your people are gone. He digs in the mud and finds his lanyard for his Site 322 keycard. You are gone. Mr. Paul? You said this will happen, so has it? In the timeline where you didn't meet me, it did. You stopped it? I stopped nothing, Mr. Paul. My attention was only drawn towards you because of this tragedy. I see death and destruction every day. It almost all deals with groups of people making decisions with some form of history I could look at and maybe understand the reasoning. But I told you, you were a unique case. I looked through your history and hoping to find some triggering event that could explain what happened, but there wasn't one. Every step of the way, you ignored your better judgment and the advice of others. You let your worst tendencies smolder into an uncontrollable blaze, and because of this, why? Let me fix it, please. I can fix this. I can. I know I can. You can give me that chance. Just put me back. I thought maybe I could stop it. I could intervene right as you jump into the deep end and see if I could draw you back over the edge. Cimmerian was your last lifeline. Starting there felt only natural. Oh my god, I can't believe this. This isn't fucking happening. I tried, Mr. Paul, believe me. But you're stubborn. You've been unreceptive to everything I've tried to show you. I understood it. I understood it all. I'm just an asshole who can't look in the fucking mirror. I'm a fuck up. What does knowing that mean in the end? I am who I am. I'll never be satisfied. And that's the way it is. That way of thinking has only led you to where we are now. I can't fucking fix this alone. You can fix this by yourself. You need to reflect upon yourself. See what I see. You have success, but you need to appreciate it. How? How the fuck can I fix this with everything you've seen? I saw a kid who didn't believe himself become a man who couldn't cope with the thought that no one else would believe in him. Despite all of this, look at you now. SCP-8000 draws a Batman logo in the sand with a flipper. Legs, eyes well with tears. I'm not in the business of cruelty, Mr. Paul. Let's leave this place. SCP-8000 closed the books. The pair returned to the library. The air feels more still, and the shards of light have dissipated, leaving them in almost total darkness. I'm not happy with myself. I never have been. The shelves rattle. I know. I can't let this happen. I can't. I wasn't fucking made for this. Most of us aren't, but we all find our way. You have. I can't let all of that work and time be for nothing. I can't let everything I've worked for be rendered a crater in the middle of nowhere. I can't be this hollow fucking shell smiling through problems I made for myself. Do you trust yourself? Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me? The shells rattle violently. Echoed platters and smacks permeate the hall as books dance off the shelves and plunge to the floor. You may have your issues, but you have the ability to fix all of this. My God, I made a life and friends there. Everything I've ever worked for was in that building. That was my success. This is my success. I spent more time crying that I couldn't look myself in the mirror instead of what I did. Ground below the pair rumbles. The flooring beneath the leg cracks as if struck by a large force. More books fall to the floor behind them, sounding like hailfall. The vines and foliage lining the shelves sway as if they're being blown by hurricane-level winds. Do you trust yourself? I can't live like this anymore. I'm tired of feeling like I've never good enough. I can't look at someone else being happy and feel awful instead of happy with them. I'm good enough. I've always been good enough. Suddenly, the empty shelves behind Lague burst with light. The rumbling stops. The books float back up to their original spots on the shelves. Foliage returns to its regular state. The cracks remain beneath Lague. Mr. Paul, do you trust yourself? I trust myself. I can fix this. There it is. The previously empty shelves are now filled with hundreds of white books of varying size and shapes. Lague looks at them in awe. What's this? These are unwritten memories. Your life doesn't end prematurely anymore. Now you can return to your home, to your friends, and to your work. You can succeed in your own way and fill these books. Everything's determined? No, Mr. Paul. These are empty books to be written and filled with the choices you may make. You may return and disregard every bit of advice and knowledge I've given you, and these books will vanish once more. Or you can return and give me some more reading to catch up on. This is all up to you. Recover documentation 8000.9-10, 3/22/2024. Context: Dr. Sumerian ordered Director Lague to an emergency meeting. Jer, I'm going to be honest with you. There's not a, oh shit, oh my god. Director Lague exits across from Dr. Sumerian. You're manic? Probably. Oh, thank God. Look, Paul, I don't know how gentle I need to be. I'm worried for you. What I've seen and read over the last month makes me think you seem unfit for this position. This project is a ticking time bomb, and I'm worried for the safety of everyone in the site. And moreover, I'm concerned with your safety. I know. You're right. Are you serious? Yeah. Oh, all right. I feel like I'm watching you suffer in self-imposed silence. Please, and for the last time, tell me what is going on. I should have listened to you. I know you were trying to help. I still am. I'm sorry I pushed it all away. Not just you, from everyone. All my life I've been trapped in this cycle of jealousy and insecurity. I've only gotten out of it because of the people who genuinely cared for me. Well, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I was expecting this. You have no fucking idea what I just dealt with. There was the seal and Sumerian furrows his brow. I'm not crazy. There was a seal, and I went into this library. And do I need to call someone? Fuck it. Doesn't matter. I'm very confused. A few weeks ago, you told me you were here to help me, and I still am. This whole problem for me started after I finished. Those are big achievements. As far as I was told, you were happy with it. Yeah, I was happy. It's my crowning achievement. I got it all done up and published, but, that was it. It was well received by my peers and colleagues. I got the stamp of approval from the council, and I went through fucking hell to get it. The hard work paid off. The second I hit that publish button, I was on top of the world, and then it just was, it's over. Then I was back to the real world, where I was just back. I was just stuck in the regular, monotonous schlub work. You understand not everything you're going to work on will be these major projects, right? No. I mean, I do now. I felt like it was only downhill from there. That's fair. You were returning back to your normal workload. It could be a shock to the system. It felt like I reached the peak of my research 8 years into my spot as director. 8 years! I couldn't shake that sense of all-encompassing dread. We have people in the Foundation who are immortal. I couldn't imagine that the rest of my life, or prolonged life, could be spent chasing a high that might never come again. Regardless of whatever you consider a major project, something like a proposal being published sets a new standard and expectations. I couldn't reach them. I'll never be able to reach them. And it was like the day-to-day tasks, the things that were stepping stones into these larger accomplishments became a never-ending loop. A never-ending reminder that I wasn't there anymore. Responsibilities came back, and all it did was remind me that this major achievement was just a brief pause. I couldn't cope. I understand that. I'd be a liar if I told you were the only person to experience that feeling. I know, but it never feels like that in the moment. Fair enough. You know what I realized? That was never my proposal. It didn't solve anything. The only reason I managed to get anything successful out of that clusterfuck was because everyone here stood behind me and believed I had something tangible. They were the ones who worked on the containment procedures with me. They were the ones who calmed my nerves when I thought I was going to lose this job. And they were the ones I've been ignoring for this entire shit show I've created this last month. I wish I fucking saw it sooner. You have the chance to fix that now. I know. I'll never be able to get rid of that feeling. I've had it my entire life, and it's brought me to heights I never could have imagined. I couldn't see the self-destruction that came with it. The lost relationships, the time wasted, the all-encompassing feeling of shit never getting better. I can cope with that. I've done it from day one, but I let it break me for the first time. It can't happen again. I won't let it. All, at the end of the day, disregarding all the politics and bullshit we put on ourselves and on each other, your standards are what you make them. God, do I know? You don't have to say that to me, ever again. End log. Context, Director Lague calls a meeting with all Site-322 personnel. Begin log. Lague ordered all Site-322 personnel to meet at the Seeker Laboratory. I know I was an asshole. Cough noise. Still are. Cough noise. Thanks. I fucked up. I fucked up bad. I'm sorry. I know all of you had my best interest at heart. I've been in my own head and made it everyone else's problem for the sole reason I could. That's not a leader. All as much as we all appreciate that, this machine is still incredibly unstable. I know, you have no goddamn idea how unstable it is. Murmurs among the personnel. We're going to be okay. Please don't worry. There was the seal. Never mind. I'm going to sound more insane than I already have been. We're going to fix this together. We need to lower its universal threshold to nothing and then reactivate it. That'll restabilize everything. Got it. Lague activates Seeker's GUI, lowering the number of universes to be scanned down to 1. Is that right? Yeah. Reactivate it now. Seeker 25. Input universes 1. Parameter non-applicable. Seeker discovery. Anomaly is triangulated to the sky above Site 322. That's something. That's the one. End log. Item number 8000. Level 1 unrestricted. Containment class safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-8000 is currently uncontained. Description: SCP-8000 is an unidentified entity resembling an elongated harbor seal, Phoca vitellina, estimated to be 75 to 150 meters in length. SCP-8000's exact anomalous properties are unknown. Based on eyewitness accounts, SCP-8000 is capable of self-propelled flight via unknown means. The origin of SCP-8000 is unknown, as the entity disappeared from view soon after discovery. A Foundation aircraft was deployed to SCP-8000's last known location, only to discover a small, self-repairing, possibly extra-dimensional rift lingering in present reality.